Welcome, everybody, to this taster session on the Global Listening and Sharing Sessions for 2022, which is going to be held on the 6th of October. The theme for this year is Build Back Better. It's the insights, innovations, and opportunities that the pandemic has provided. It is being hosted by the Global Professional Education Committee of the International Alliance of Academies of Childhood Disability. And it is my great pleasure to welcome my colleagues, Professor Eugen Ramakas from the Maastricht and Hasselhoff universities. And we have Professor Peter Rosenbaum, who is a professor of pediatrics at McMaster University and the co-founder of CanChild. And we have our Global Professional Education Committee Chair, Jenny Carroll, who is the Center Director of Cerebral Palsy Syndrome and is a consultant physiotherapist. I am Arnav Seal. I'm currently the Secretary of the International Alliance of Academies of Childhood Disability and also the Chair of the European Academy of Childhood Disability. And I'm based in Leeds, United Kingdom. Since January 2020, the pandemic has disrupted the world. And when such disruptive events occur, we know that it throws up many challenges, but equally many opportunities. And what we are going to try and tease out a bit is what these sessions allow us to do when we think about Build Back Better. So Jenny, I'm going to invite you to maybe tell us a little bit about what these sessions might offer.
I think it's an opportunity for us all to kind of review what we've been doing for the last couple of years. We've all made changes in our services and how they're delivered. That change has been really, really rapid. We can do those changes and make those changes, which we don't think we would have been able to do before, becoming more virtual. And now we've done that really quickly. So it's having a chance to look back and think, what are those innovations that we've put in place that we want to keep, what have been really useful, how has that helped families, what are those things, how do we combine them now to bring forward and improve our services for the children and for the families? What has it shown us that is possible and how can we make that happen?
Indeed. I mean, we often think about the challenges, but it is the opportunities and the innovations which certainly we need to grab and discuss and share ideas of what people are doing in different parts of the world. But essentially, it is about focusing on the right things. So Peter, for you, what are the priorities and what does these sessions need to be about?
For me, the first and most obvious statement is that they should be about the family. And this means respecting the family's realities because they live at a distance. If it is difficult for both parents to attend a clinic visit, if the child has to be taken out of school and lose time from their ordinary lives, then being able to connect with them on their terms within reason during their times of availability and in their own settings, that I think is really powerful. I haven't done a home visit in a very, very long time, except when the pandemic started and we started doing virtual visits. I was seeing kids in their own settings, and that is really, really interesting. When they come to our clinic, they're in our space and our turf with the smells, the sights, the sounds of our clinic, usually after a long drive and so on. When we see children playing in their own setting, we have a different idea of who they are and who their family is. And that for me is an insight that I don't want to lose.
Thank you, Peter. You absolutely hit the nail on the head with that. It is thinking about the child, the family, and how we can keep them at the center of our thinking and whatever innovations that we can bring and the opportunities that has come with the pandemic. There are a whole host of other opportunities which potentially we can transform the way we are working. And Eugene, can I bring you into what is important to you?
Yeah, and I learned in the last years as a pediatric physical therapist, seeing kids at home, seeing parents, seeing kids at an outdoor activity, it brings us, a therapist, back to new dimension of coaching the families, because we see the kids in their environment and the transfer to the environment is not needed anymore. So our coaching needs to be adapted to that new situation. It's more about detail, more about what do I see in that reality, and we need to cope with that. And for me as a therapist too, that's a new type of dimension. It has new opportunities to look into, okay, what's really happening. And it gives me an insight of the strengths and the weaknesses of the environment. Because that was an idea that we said, oh, we have a good transfer to the environment. But now we see what's happening and see the challenges for the parents or the teachers or the trainers. And we need to rechange it in coaching. And I love this. That's nice to do. It's a really new addition in my work.
I would add a comment from the World Health Organization's thinking about the notions of capacity and performance. In the clinic, what I call the lab, we assess what we think is best function, which we might call capacity. When we see children in their own environments, we're seeing performance. There's often a gap, and that gap may be understood better in terms of personal factors, in terms of environmental factors, and so on. And so the insights, again, that Eugene and I are both focusing on are very powerful opportunities to build on what is the reality for that child and that family and that environment with those interests.
Absolutely. And the great advantage that's offered is the efficiency of time and being able to bring teams together, which previously were a complete nightmare, but is so much easier now in getting people both from different agencies like, therapists, education, teachers, social care workers, everybody together, centering around the child and the family in the middle. And it's really a great advantage we've gained in these years. But it's not been without challenges either, has it?
No, there's definitely been a lot of challenges. I mean, and that's what we want to do, isn't it? Pick out the good things and what's been really positive. Families, where you've got two parents able to attend much more than they would because someone's been able to pop out from work for a few minutes and nip on a virtual call while the other parent's with the child. But also we've had feedback from families saying actually they want face-to-face. Picking out the good bits and the bits that fit each circumstance. But that in itself creates challenges. It's a lot easier being able to say, this meeting I've got face-to-face, this meeting I'm virtual is more difficult for us. It provides us with the challenges of scheduling and working out how we do all those things and making sure the internet's good. And as Eugene says, it's a new set of skills that we're developing when we're treating more virtually because it is totally that to understand what those extra tools are and make sure our training and our support gives us those tools. But then I think, what we can come out with at the end is something that's much better than what we started with.
And in one phrase, what you just described as being family-centered.
Yeah.
I mean, really putting that phrase to work. How can we do this? What would be best for you? Although we're talking about the best of the possibilities, I think it's really important when people are participating in these sessions to say, yes, but these are the problems we have because somebody else who may have had that problem hasn't thought about how to address it. So we're not pretending this is perfect, and Jenny's already said that, but sharing the challenges as well as the opportunities will be very useful for everybody.
I think that sums it up, isn't it? So this conversation we need to carry on in our listening and sharing sessions. And I hope that it's going to be as exciting that we've enjoyed sharing these ideas. We want to hear lots of ideas from all across the globe. And we hope that we would be sharing it with colleagues from different walks of life, with families, so that we can indeed build back better. We will share all the details about how you can join these sessions and share in this discussion. Thank you very much for listening to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.